APC to come out and speak something for this thing.
Since the man just come back, nothing to talk to followers.
The Akwa Ibom APC caretaker committee chairman has been operating as though he's a domestic staff of Senator John Udom Emmanuel.
Position, you don't remember. Hey, we'll get to for Africa.
When your brother is producing something and you patronizing your brother,
there is only one seat, and only one man will sit on that seat. Let us be careful what we say and who we say is going to be the governor, or be a senator, or be a member of the House of Representatives, and all of that. Let us also give respect to the office that we all occupy, that God has called us, and be careful that these things that we say, they have a way of having a ripple effect. You must have to understand that in the midst of all of this, God is still God.
Listen to Planet 101.1 FM News at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Planet Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
It's the news at noon. In the news, Minister of Mines and Steel Development Olamilekan Adegbite assures investors Nigeria is safe. Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center says Naira redesign not economic priority. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel describes manpower training of Nigerian Air Force as a step in right direction. On the foreign scene, UN votes for Western Sahara talks to resume. In sport, Nigeria's Olympic Eagles to seek qualification for next round of Total Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations tomorrow. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. I am Rachel David White. First in the news this afternoon, the federal, state and local government have shared 760 billion naira allocation for the month of September. The Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAAC, disclosed these and in a communique issued after its meeting for October 2022. A breakdown of 760.235 billion naira for the month of September shows that 502.135 billion naira was for statutory revenue, 189.928 billion naira for value-added tax (VAT), and 8.172 billion naira for electronic money transfer levy. According to the communique, the federal government received 294.244 billion naira. The state received 233.223 billion naira, and local governments received 172.776 billion naira. For the month in review, oil-producing states also received 59.992 billion naira as derivation, 13% of mineral revenue. Mines and Steel in a separate development. The Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adegbite, has called on foreign investors to be free and attend Nigeria's Mining Week activities, scheduled from 1st to 3rd November 2022, saying Nigeria is safe. The minister, who disclosed this in Abuja at a pre-event press briefing of the Mining Week with the theme Successes and Achievements in the Nigerian Mining Sector, said this year's activities will highlight the giant strides of the administration through the mineral sector as one of the cardinal drivers of the diversification agenda. He, however, maintained that the Mining Week would deliberate on the acquisition of bankable geoscientific data, the efficient and transparent mineral title administration processes, as well as downstream opportunities in the mining sector and the Nigerian Mineral Value Chain Regulations of 2021. Away from that, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, has said that the Central Bank of Nigeria's plan to redesign 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes is not an economic priority for the country. In his statement that there are more pressing needs that the CBN ought to attend to set the economy on the path of revival. He, however, noted that Nigerians' concerned reactions to the announcement were proof that the decision is a misplaced priority on the part of the CBN. Musa further stressed that the CBN should be more concerned with protecting foreign exchange reserves from external outflows and making forex available to the ordinary citizen who genuinely and legitimately need it, adding that the huge blow to foreign direct investment was tantamount to the inability of the CBN to do its job effectively. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has described the manpower training of the Nigerian Air Force, NAF, as a step in the right direction to encourage innovations and reposition the Air Force for security optimization. Governor Emmanuel made this known while declaring open a 3-day operations seminar 2022 organized by the Nigerian Air Force with the theme Harnessing NAF Combat Experience and Joint Operations for Doctrinal Development at Ibom Hall, Uyo. The governor, who was the special guest of honor at the event, commended the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Ishaka Amal, for giving Akwa Ibom State the opportunity to host the operations seminar, expressing optimism that knowledge shared with further equip the Nigerian Air Force to meet up with contemporary challenges. The Chief Executive acknowledged the operations and contributions of the Nigerian Air Force in tackling security challenges, commending the leadership of the Chief of Air Staff for making NAF live up to its responsibilities.
The greatest asset in all the things you need in any organization is the manpower. Once you have the trained, disciplined manpower, they can conquer anytime, any day. Let me also use this opportunity to acknowledge the great sacrifice that our prestigious serving and retired airmen have made and continue to make towards the peace and progress of this country, Nigeria. For those that have paid the supreme price, we remember you today. May your sweat and blood never be in vain. Let me also join my voice to that of the Chief of Air Staff to congratulate the newly winged pilots and wish them a very successful flying career in the Nigerian Air Force.
The governor also stated that his administration, which anchored its vision on the 3 main gateways of air, land, and sea to drive industrialization in the state, has made significant progresses in aviation, assuring the Chief of Air Staff on completion of a smart airport terminal building and MRO, the aviation sector will be reinvigorated in the operations.
So I really want to appreciate all the other generals, all officers of the Nigerian Air Force for the support they've given you. And I believe with the kind of support, the professionalism, and the unity I'm seeing in the Nigerian Air Force today, it speaks volume that hope is alive. And also with the current strides in minimizing the problems that we're facing in terms of insecurity, I still have hope that we'll return to those days that anybody can move anywhere at any point in time and freely so. And I believe Nigeria will return to that time so that our children can also have the opportunity to enjoy what we've enjoyed.
Earlier, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Ishaka Amal, while delivering an address at the event, expressed the delight of the force over the support of Akwa Ibom State government to NAF. He explained that the choice of the 2022 Operations Seminar theme, Harnessing Nigerian Air Force Combat Experience and Joint Military Operations for Doctrinal Development, was born out of the need to reprise past operational successes and failures in order to re-strategize towards expeditiously ending the current scourge of insecurity.
It is imperative that we reappraise our past operational successes and failures in order to re-strategize towards a more operationally effective Nigerian Air Force that can contribute to expeditiously ending the current scourge of insecurity. We must also take cognizance of the dynamism and the complexity of the ever-changing security environment and adopt strategies that will promote Nigerian Air Force retention of credible air power capability to prosecute current and future warfare.
Government House correspondent Jen Uwa reports that the seminar, according to the Air Force Chief, will make cognizance of the dynamism and complexity of the ever-changing security environment and adopting strategies that would promote NAF's retention of credible air power capabilities, considering the intrinsic complexities of current warfare, influences of such external factors as international policies, among others. Meanwhile, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has thanked the people of the Uyo Senatorial District for the overwhelming support given to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) governorship candidate, Pastor Omoyeno, ahead of next year's general election. Speaking at the Uyo Senatorial District PDP campaign flag-off held at the Unity Park in Uyo, the governor described Omoyeno as a man of capacity who will build on the economic foundations he has laid in the state in the last 7.5 years in office. He encouraged the people to be steadfast in their support and not waver, asserting that it was time for the people to vote right in the upcoming election and choose credible leaders that will revive the economic potential of the country in line with what is obtainable in the state.
The Uber again number Mikpompo get 2015. Uber again number Mikpompo get 2019. Uber is there all of the time. I just want to say, Uyo Senatorial District, congratulations. People have made a statement across the globe that Akwa Ibom is PD and PDP is. The next governor has spoken. But believe me, he's a man of capacity. You cannot run a kiosk. You cannot run a multinational. But here in Akwa Ibom, we are blessed. Next governor, a man of capacity, is willing. This state is going to be a reference state for the whole of Africa. It's going to be the flagship in the whole of Africa. The economic foundation that we've laid is going to build solidly on it. And Akwa Ibom will do forward, backward, never.
Earlier, the PDP candidate, Pastor Omoyeno, had thanked Governor Emmanuel for his developmental strides in the state, which he said has opened up the state for economic growth and promised to build on the legacy of industrialization to create jobs for the teeming youths.
Your Excellency, we salute your courage, we salute your doggedness. The people of Uyo Senatorial District are thankful for all the landmark projects that you have given to Uyo Senatorial District. Thank you for establishing firmly on the ground that Akwa Ibom belongs to God, and we salute you. Uyo is not just the center of government and the center of politics, but Uyo must become the center of commerce, the center of innovation. But I can tell you that we are going to build on it. And Uyo will go back and revive the work at the science park. We can create jobs and achieve the full value chain of that science park.
Responding on behalf of the candidates for the senatorial district, Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Olamilekan Adegbite, thanked the people and the party for confidence reposed on them, stressing that all the candidates are reliable and willing to serve. He pledged that the dividends of democracy will be delivered to the people.
I thank the good people of Uyo Senatorial District. I thank the PDP family for a show of love and solidarity. We standing here, the 13 of us from the governor, the 14. We are reliable, we are willing, and we are able. We thank the party for the mandate, for the confidence reposed in us. We will not take this for granted. We will canvass votes for Uyo Senatorial District and the PDP from the delta estuaries of Uran to the valleys of Idibiara and to the mainland of Uyo to assure and make sure that the PDP cleans all the 15 posts. 15 over 15 plus 1.
In their separate goodwill messages, the representative of the stakeholders of the senatorial district, the women, youth, and the students thanked Governor Emmanuel for all his support to the people and assured that PDP will emerge victorious in the 2023 elections. Our correspondent January reports that the high point of the event was the presentation of flags to all the PDP standard bearers in the senatorial district by the state chairman of the party, Olamilekan Adegbite. as well as the reception of returnees to the party, including former member of the two-state constituency, Iroen and former chairman of Uyo local government area, Ekerete Ekpeyon. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has called for partnership with American government in the areas of boosting food security investment in oil and gas sector. The governor, who met the call during a courtesy visit paid him by U.S. Consul General Will Stevens at the Government House Uyo, expressed gratitude for the recognitions by the government of the United States and the kind words of the Consul General. While communicating the warm welcome of the government and people of Akwa Ibom State, the governor acknowledged that Nigeria plays a critical role in the global economy, particularly Akwa Ibom State, seeking partnership with American investors to explore the huge opportunities in the areas of agriculture, oil and gas sector, and other enormous natural resources in the state is endowed. The chief executive therefore solicited the intervention of the American government to get ExxonMobil expand its business in the state beyond crude oil drilling and sales, to explore other related opportunities in the sector, particularly regretting that the American oil giant, after operating in the state for over 50 years, was still flaring gas that would be converted to solve some of the nation's energy needs. Earlier, the United States Consul General in Nigeria, Will Stevens, had lauded the outstanding fiscal transparency of the Udom Emmanuel-led government of Akwa Ibom State. The U.S. envoy said his government was impressed with the performance of Akwa Ibom State government under the leadership of Governor Udom Emmanuel in the areas of health, public accountability, and fiscal transparency, noting that the state in the last 2 years had moved from 12% to 95% of people on treatments for HIV and AIDS under the U.S.-supported program. He also extolled the state aviation pride, the Ibom Air, describing it as an airline to be desired for the next flight. You are listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign sport and entertainment scenes.
Planet 101.1 FM. News, quality information, crisp delivery, and on time. Planet News at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m.
Thanks for staying with us. On the foreign scene, the UN Security Council has voted for the resumption of negotiations between parties to the disputed Western Sahara. The resolution called for the parties to resume negotiations in good faith with a view to achieving a just, lasting, and mutually acceptable political solution for Western Sahara. Reports say that 13 countries and the 15-member council voted in favor of the resolution, with Kenya and Russia abstaining. Western Sahara, a former Spanish colony, is disputed by the Algerian-backed Polisario Front and Morocco. Morocco controls around 80% of Western Sahara, and the rest is held by Polisario movement, which fought with Morocco for years after Spanish forces withdrew in 1975. The 16-year-long insurgency ended with a UN-brokered truce in 1991 and the promise of a referendum on independence, which has yet to take place. In sport, Nigeria will host Tanzania in the second leg of the Total Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations qualification match at the Lekan Salami Stadium in the ancient city of Ibadan tomorrow. The Olympic Eagles were held to a 1-1 draw by Tanzania in the first leg at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam last weekend. The winner on aggregate will proceed to the next round of the Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations qualifying campaign. The Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations, to be held in Morocco in November 2023, will determine Africa's flag bearers at the men's football tournament of the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Ahead of tomorrow's encounter at the Lekan Salami Stadium, Makandrola, who plies his thread with CD Diocesano of Spain, assured Nigerians that the Olympic Eagles would win because they are a better team than their East African opponents. On the entertainment scene, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has completed his $44 billion takeover of Twitter. Musk retweeted, "The bird is free," an apparent reference to the deal. According to reports, a number of top executives, including the boss, Parag Agrawal, have reportedly been fired. Agrawal and two other executives were escorted out of Twitter's San Francisco headquarters. The completion of the deal brings to an end months of legal wrangling, but the deal has prompted questions over the platform's future direction. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM, yo, but before we go, let's take a look at the major stories. Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adegbite, has called on foreign investors to be free to attend Nigeria's mining rig activities scheduled from 1st to 3rd November 2022, saying Nigeria is safe. Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center has said that the General Bank of Nigeria's plan to redesign 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes and is not an economic priority for the country considering the current challenges facing the economy. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has described the manpower training of the Nigerian Air Force (NAF) as a step in the right direction to encourage innovations and reposition the Air Force for security optimization. On the foreign scene, we told you that UN Security Council has voted for the resumption of negotiations between parties to the disputed Western Sahara. And in sport, we reported that Nigeria will host Tanzania in the second leg of the Total Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations qualifications match at the Salami Stadium in the ancient city of Ibadan tomorrow. For comments and coverage of your newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow us on Twitter at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at planet101fm. Uyo. The news was edited by Jen Owa. As we end the news, flee mediocrity but always work to attain real merit, no matter how delayed. Such a mentality always gains favor at last. Good afternoon. I am Rachel